Okay, this problem is going to require us to do some expansion, especially with this squared binomial here, before we can actually factor it down all the way. So, you have 5 multiplied by, and then we've got 2x squared, or 2x minus 3 quantity squared. And then after the fact, we finish all that up, we'll have to subtract 20 from a like term. So, going to handle the distributive property here, and then when we're done with that, we'll hit the 5 for sure. All right, so 4x squared, and then I get minus 6x here and minus 6x here, so that's minus 12x, and then the last one's plus 9. And this is all being multiplied by the 5 here. So 5 times that is going to give me 20x squared minus 60x plus 45. Now we can bring that minus 20 into play and combine it with the 45 at the end there. So what we have in kind of a standard form arrangement here is 20x squared minus 60x plus 25. And now that we've got it in standard form and combined all the like terms, it's interesting to see that really the only thing I could pull out of every term here is a 5. And it feels like I just got done multiplying a 5 through there, but we had to go through that in order to appropriately bring that negative 20 in as a like term. So now we'll take a 5 back out, and that'll give us 4x squared minus 12x. Sounds familiar, but now we've got plus 5 on the end. All right? Now the real work really begins, because we need to do the AC method and factor by grouping by looking at 4 and 5. A times C is going to be 4 times 5. We'll get 20. So factors of 20 that add up to negative 12. Anybody help me out with that one? Negative. Okay. Minus 2 times minus 10. That'll add up to negative 12. That works. Okay, so I could split my middle term now and write out 5 is still lurking outside. 4x squared, though, minus 2x minus 10x, there's the split, plus 5. All right, so now we get to group. Okay, factor by grouping. Got 2 groups inside here. So much easier to factor out of 2 terms rather than a trinomial. So these have a 2x in common. These 2 terms here and here. And that leaves a 2x minus a 1. Keep the phantom 1 placeholder. Now over here, negative 10x, positive 5. I'm going to pull out a negative 5 because I don't like to lead with this negative on the inside quantity here. That also gives me a 2x, pulling out the negative 5, minus 1. Noteworthy is that we have 2x minus 1 in both of those factorizations. So that becomes the common term. Got the 5 out front. Pull the common term out, 2x, or the common factor I should say, 2x minus 1. And the leftovers, kind of the framework that we pulled everything out of, was 2x, and then over there minus 5. Those kind of come in and create my last factor. So that's done. So the thing about 88 here is you don't have a coefficient or any factors of the coefficients that are going to be common in all 4. You have some that will be common, 2, 4, and 6 there will have 2 in common, and 3 and 6 will have some, but not all 4 of them. So what we're going to do here is try and group these next to each other in a way that they have at least two things in common, a variable and a coefficient factor. So you'll see 6AC and negative 3AD, and those have two things in common, and so does negative 2BD and 4BC. So here we go. I'm going to go 4BC minus 2BD, and I'll rearrange the other ones as well, and we'll get 6AC minus 3AD. Now, I've used the colors, but what I'm going to do now is take common factors out of those little groups. So I've got a 2B, factor that out of 4B, I'm left with a 2C, factor that out of here, I'm left with a negative D. Okay? And then over here, take a 3 out of the 6 and 3 and an A out of those, you get plus 3A, and that leaves a 2C minus a D. Oh, good. You got that common term there, or common factor I should say, 2C minus D. So now you can kind of pull that out front here, factor it out front, 2C minus D. And we pulled that out of a framework of 2B plus 3A. And that's it.